Hello lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming and another episode of Kickstarter Roundup. So this episode's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit shorter because when I was going around on Kickstarter, I was not able to find enough video game projects that I felt were worth mentioning, and I don't want to mention subpar games to you guys. I want to make sure that the quality that I have, while not always 100% the best, but at least is something that is good and deserves to be made and deserves to be at least looked at by you. A lot of the games that are going on right now just aren't really worth checking out, in my opinion. So I'm not doing a recommended game to back or anything like that, because there's only one game I want to talk about and one kind of product that I want to talk about. So let's start out with the game. The game is called Project Resurgence by Nectar Game Studios. So their headline reads, an episodic single-player computer RPG inspired by the classics of the late 90s, set in a world fusing dark, fantasy, and diesel punk. So this is looking like another strong entry into the CRPG kind of resurgence that we've been having lately. And what I like about this one is it adds a little bit of a unique feel with that whole diesel punk vibe that it's got going, but it's keeping the deep stories and strategy variation and interesting characters and interesting world that we've come to expect from CRPGs. The graphics also seem pretty nice overall too. The actual storylines that they have seem interesting. So if you're a fan of CRPGs, then I would definitely recommend checking out. And if you haven't tried CRPGs, but you're a fan of old school RPGs and things like that, it's also worth checking out. Maybe a good way to introduce yourself into the genre. But that's the only game I want to talk about this week, but I do want to talk about something called Linked to the Wall video game cartridge mounts. So they're video game cartridge mounts that you can use to display games on your wall and things like that. So personally, I love old school games and collecting games, and I would love to display my games and things like that. I'm very proud of my games. So this seems like a fun little Kickstarter with an interesting way of displaying your old school games and even your new disc style games. You can also even display various handheld games, so the small handheld type games. It just overall looks very interesting. What's nice about them is the displays don't really show behind the cartridge very much, so that's good. But overall, the project just looks interesting to me, and I wanted to point it out for anyone who is interested in just displaying some of their favorite games, maybe some of the retro games, things like that. So I thought it was interesting and worth mentioning. It definitely something that I would consider getting myself. But with that, let me know if there was any games that I didn't mention that you thought I should have mentioned. Should I have mentioned some of the games that I kind of overlooked? Or did I mention the things here that you thought were not worth checking out at all? Let me know in the comment section down below. Otherwise, if you guys like the video, click that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, you can check out my channel and see all my videos. And if you want to see my new videos when I put them out, I do Kickstarter Roundups every Saturday. Then you could always click that red subscribe button and be notified whenever I put out new videos. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.